My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Welcome to October. I love the beginning of October, because there's kind of this earthy, like harvesty energy in the air, at least where I live in Canada. And also this sense of like an opening of magic. And that's what we're going to explore today in the Curious Universe, exploring receiving magic. Because it's one thing to be receiving and engaging, because you could be over here and be like, oh yeah, like I know that magic is over there, and not willing to receive and separating from it, whether it's maybe you've decided you're not that kind of person, or you don't know how to do it, or maybe magic isn't interested in you, or you have fear around it. You know, a lot of people have fear around the spirit world, around their own power, the unknown, the uncontrollable elements of living, which magic is that. It is uncontrolled, miraculous elements of living. But that's what I love about it. I love that you cannot have a perfect formula with magic. You cannot precisely know exactly what's going to show up. And that's some of the delight and the splendor of living as if by magic. To get there, you have to learn how to receive magic. So what does receiving mean? Because people talk about receiving all the time. And I think a lot of us don't quite get what that is. So does that mean like you just have to take whatever is coming your way? Is that receiving? Is receiving like never fighting and just accepting? Is receiving, all sorts of confusing things. And some of us think it's actually taking things into our body, whether we want to or not. That's not receiving. Receiving is actually opening yourself to the infinite possibilities available to you and like stepping into them. So it's interesting because I always got like energetically, when I first learned about receiving, the person that had described it to me was almost like as if there was like an inflow, like something was flowing to me, and receiving was to like let it in. And there is letting in, but when I got this great description from Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and he describes it as this opening and stepping in, I was like, oh, wow. So for me, on an energetic perspective, as I open and I step into receiving something, I actually become more of what I'm receiving. So let's just say it was, say you're getting a massage. And when you open and you step into more relaxation, you step into more peace and harmony with the body. Fix that little weird hair. When you step into more space. Now, all I can think about is a massage. I really want a massage. That is receiving. That's you receiving. Now, if it was the other way, right? And it was like, okay, so I'm taking into my body the energy of relaxation. Well, that's kind kind of peculiar because your body is that energy. You don't have to take it in. You have to take in relaxation or take in peace or take in space. You become more space. You expand into space, right? You expand into relaxation. And so when you're receiving all of that, you're actually stepping in and opening to all of that. Oh. So now let's look at this. Let's go into the magic world with it, okay? So how do you receive magic? Well, in that same kind of conversation, you would open to magic. You would step into a space of magic where you actually become more of the magic that you are. Woo! And all of those uncontrolled moving energies that show up for me with it, magic might perceive a little differently for you. But what if you took a moment right now and perceived, what is magic for you? What is that? What if you were to identify magic in some area? Maybe it's this showed up as if by magic. So maybe for you, it's instant actualization. Or maybe for you, it's earth magic, deep nature, that thrum, that heartbeat of the vibrations of the earth. It could be more energetic. It could be being able to hear the whispers of objects or communicate with entities or magical creatures, the spirit world, earth, nature spirits. So now, if you were to look at that, okay, so you have a clear sense of what magic is to you, right? And now if you were to open to that, whew, you would be opening to the infinite possibilities available to you, and you'd be stepping into more communication with nature spirits, magical creatures, more engagement with the earth and the magic there, the consciousness there. You would be becoming more of your own embodied magic, the capacity to transform, to heal, to change. So what is receiving magic like for you? Let's play with, because money is always a conversation. It is. It's always a conversation. And that's cool because I actually love talking about money. So let's look at the magic of money, receiving money. And sometimes it's in cash, which is money and cash are not exactly the same thing. Okay. It's another conversation. It could be cash. It could be gifts. It could be all types of things that are in the realm of money. Okay. And so let's say you're going to receive money magic. That could look like, winning a gift, winning a prize. It could be, so say that happened. So say, I actually just won a prize this morning, I found out. And it was oh my God, this is so fun for me. Winning things. So to receive that kind of money magic, well, when I already received it by being willing to, I would have had to be willing to receive it to win it. And okay, yeah, that's where we're going to go now. So did you notice that when you're not willing to receive something, what shows up? Woo! So the universe might have this awesome idea and it wants to gift you something because it matches something you've been asking for. But then it goes to deliver it and you have a total resistance to receiving it. So you're not opening the doors. You are not stepping into this new space. And especially like with magic and money, what usually shows up is some kind of like, for me, it can be different for everyone else, but what shows up for you? Yeah, let's look at that. What shows up for you when you have a resistance to receiving, or you only receive in a very particular way or from very particular people? So then it shows up in this other way and you're like, no, I'm not doing that. No, you won't open to it and you won't have it and you won't like step into more of it. And that includes money. So you ask, oh, what would it take for like all this money to show up? And then it starts to come and you reject it or you refuse it or you have those doors shut. I can be such a dynamic resisting bitch. I don't mean to be, and I've been working on it, but that was like my protection. And so I learned how to be very good at slamming those doors shut and keeping everything out. No one's going to mess with me. Oh, steel doors, and then asking for something and wondering why it's not coming through my steel doors. So people ask for magic. I because people know I love magic so much. They'll be like, "Ooh, I want to like communicate with entities. I want to like, like do these kind of like exercises that expand my potency, my capacities." And then we go into exploring it, and they're like, "Nope." And their door is fear, or their door is presumptive realities or reactionary realities. Like their door is shut. They're not letting it in. They are not stepping into a greater space, a greater awareness, a greater possibility of what is available to them. So are you actually even willing to receive magic without controlling it? Because you could be like, oh, of course, I'll receive magic, like only on Halloween though. So like any other time of the year, that's a no. Or only at this time, or only when I'm prepared, only when I feel like I can control it. When you look at the energy of control and receiving magic, are those conflictual energies? Can you really control receiving and have true receiving? Because magic is uncontrollable. That's what makes it magic. Like, I was like, if I know I push this button, and when I push this button, I get the exact same result every single time, period. Would you describe that as magic? I mean, maybe some people would. Maybe that's their version of magic. For me, it would be like there's this magical button, and you're going to push it, and you never know what's going to show up. And you are going to be surprised every time. And sometimes you're going to love it. And sometimes you're going to question it. And sometimes it will change you. Because sometimes magic will change you. It's changed me. such a beautiful gift to engage with and receive the elements of magic from the whole world. And it can come in all forms. It can come through aspects of this reality. You can have magic show up in the courtroom. You could have magic show up with money. You can have magic show up in relationships, in embodiment, in all sorts of places that you might think that magic doesn't live. But what if magic lives everywhere you are, everywhere you're willing to be, because you be magic. Magic lives where you be. And to be there, you have to open up and step into it. So if you'd like more money magic, you have to be money. And you have to open to money and step into more. If you would like magic with your embodiment, you have to be with your body. I know, we want to like be out here and then like, body, can you just be perfect? And then I'll finally occupy you. That's not how it works. We should do a whole thing we should do more on bodies. We're going to do more on bodies. What is possible for you to receive with magic and as magic that you have never imagined was possible? So it's something you can practice. Receiving is kind of like a muscle. Not for everyone, but a lot of us have never been taught how to receive. We've been taught how to give and take, take turns. I give you something, you give me something. We've been really taught that in this reality. But receiving, that's a whole new universe. So start to notice, where are the places that you do tend to receive. So maybe it is when you're like getting a massage. I know for me, say I would book an hour massage, I wouldn't start to receive until like I was 45 minutes in. I was always like talking, trying to contribute to the masseuse, trying to make sure that they're okay. And then like thoughts and stuff were going on. And then I would like, okay. And then finally like, oh my God. So I'd get 15 minutes. And then always feel like, disappointed because it's just 15 minutes. Even though they were working on me for a full hour, I wasn't receiving it. So it didn't really matter. So where are the places where you naturally receive? Maybe it's when you like sleep. Maybe it's when you go on vacation, or when you're around certain people that you really enjoy. So when you have that sense of that, of where you receive, then you can get intimate with, what are you being then when you're receiving? What are you, how are you open? What are you stepping into? Like kind of explore those things, like that opening and that stepping into, that becoming. So get intimate with that, like really get exploring and curious about how you are in this realm of receiving. Okay. Could be even in sex, how that shows up for you. When you're like really receiving like the pleasure and the touch and the possibility. And then now like apply this to, well, we're talking about magic, but you apply it to anything. It could be money. It could be communication with your body. It could be anything. And then notice what shifts. Notice, do some doors close? Does a wall of like fear or doubt or like past reference points and all that stuff come up? Does that come up? Or are you open there too and you just never acknowledged it? So kind of explore that. Get this sense of how you already, the moments you do, and if it's only like 15, like me at 15 minutes at the end of the massage, that's at least a place to start, right? If I would have been like, oh, okay, so this is what shows up when I actually allow myself to receive. How can I extend this? How can I have more of this? What would it take to, and this is a great question you can ask, what would it take to be this level of receiving or more in this area? So what would it take? Think of like that time where you were like the most delicious receiving of your life. What would it take to be like this or more with money? What would it take to be like this or more with magic? What would it take to be like this or more with all the beautiful things that you desire? Play with that one. I think it'll be fun. You might enjoy it and have some really cool, miraculous things show up. Let's have fun this month with magic in various ways. I might even have some guests for you. Let's explore, because I love magic and I'm grateful to explore it with you in the Curious Universe. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for exploring the Curious Universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?